Hey there you go, folks. Welcome back to Omen Exitio Plague. Picking up where we left off last time, we're going to try to um, gain allies to fight the cult here on the island. We got Aita. We technically got Feugo, if we can free them some. So yeah, let's see what we can do here. And I just checked. We got 106 experience, 104 experience. So I just noticed we got one thing of fighting. That's funny. We've made it through without having to fight at all. I find that pretty cool. Oh, I keep going back over here. Okay. Oh, the camp and the cave. Okay. I would say before we even start doing that, we should maybe. Well, this says the best place to start. So maybe we should go with the camp. Yeah, okay, why not? You walk around the huts, watching the villagers and their activities. You're a stranger amongst these people, but at the same time, you feel no negativity, discomfort, or hostility from them. Despite not being one of them, they do not seem to be scared of you. Rather, they treat you as an honored guest. We need to have a clear picture of the layout of the cult's camp. You explain to Aida that in order to rescue Feugo and maybe the other villagers who were captured before your arrival, we need more information about the enemy camp. Tonight, when twilight arrives and you see Aida heading away from the village, giving you the briefest of meaningful glances, telling you to follow. Again, you walk for what seems like an eternity, but eventually she motions for you to slow the pace. You understand that you're near. Oh, that's quite the sizable camp. Wow. On a small rocky outcrop hidden by trees, at the base of the rocks you can see the camp. It seems to be mostly tents, although there are some huts made from wood and corrugated iron. They look to have been built only recently. There they are. You scan the camp with close attention, but so far you can see no sign of the cult. It looks just like a normal military outpost. You wonder if you have not been in too much of a hurry to connect them to the London cult. Okay, let's definitely use observation. Okay, good. I was a little worried. You see various men sitting around a fire in the center of the camp, eating a meal. Others are moving around the camp. Even from a distance, you can tell that most of them are white Europeans, as you already saw in the village. It must be hot near the fire. Many of them are bare-chested. By the dim light from the fire, you can see a dark shape on their wrists, but you don't need any to get in closer to know that's the cult's eye tattoo. If they all have tattoos, if wouldn't that be conspicuous? Seems conspicuous, like, oh, what an interesting tattoo you have there. What does it mean? I saw like Phil down the street. He had the same tattoo, and you came into some money last year, and he came into some money like a couple months ago. So the tattoo, what does it mean? What a strange coincidence. So yeah, I think they were saying that they stay out of the news, so it wouldn't be any like political leaders. It would be like mid tier or bottom tier politicians. If they were politicians or anything like that. When they finished eating, instead of extinguishing the fire, some men bring more wood and start to build up the fire, increasing its diameter and intensity. After a few minutes, two men come out of the huts carrying a dead body. Oh crap, hopefully it's not Feugo. As they approach the pyre, you are able to get a better look at the body. It is one of the villagers. The body is covered in pock marks, and despite the fact that you cannot be sure from this distance, you suspect they are familiar marks of the disease. Yeah, I'm hoping it's not Feugo. They throw the corpse on the fire. Aita turns her head away, her hands closed in fists, shaking with horror and rage. So are they like testing on people from this village? Is that what they're doing? Do they have like places like this like all around where they test this disease? And the thing about the marks on the back, that's confusing to me because that's like a bite mark. So I'm a little confused about. Sorry, I just noticed a spot on my controller. Very unprofessional. Um, it's like a bat. So, do they have like some sort of creatures that give these diseases to people? Eee. Ada struggles to contain her pain and anger, and you can see straight through her seemingly calm exterior. For now, you decide it's better to not say anything, and you turn back to into the forest in silence. Was that useful for your plan? You nod. Now you know exactly where the prisoners are kept, and you can start formulating a plan to rescue them. Okay, good. The sun is already high in the sky when you finally leave your bed and walk out of the hut where you had been sleeping. The village is a hive of activity. Many of the fishermen's dugouts are already at sea. Others are intent on finishing their careful preparations before heading out. The women are busy with various activities. Some tend to crops on the edge of the village, while others are looking after the children. Seems like any other perfectly ordinary day, as if Fuego's kidnap, or those from before, had never happened at all. Ada comes up bringing you some fruit for breakfast. Have you had any ideas? We should organize a raid on the cult's camp. Ada notes your hesitation, but you don't think that it is possible. Explain to her that this is not the case, that you would have a much better chance of success if it were not just you two. Yeah, what about the villagers? They're strong and determined, and when they decide to do something, they stop at nothing. However, unfortunately, as I've already told you, they are very superstitious. They wouldn't even consider attacking people who they believe are capable of magic. About the cult's defenses. They have weapons, terrible weapons that can strike from a great distance and with more force than arrows. That is all I know. We gotta make an attempt. What attempt? You notice I use this tone of voice when speaking about the villagers. You said that maybe some of them could be convinced to help you. When you tell her this and that it is your best hope, she nods in agreement. There are perhaps 3 of the men who we could convince. Amana is the chief. He's very close to his son. He seems like the very obvious one. With her eyes, she indicates his hut. He has nothing left of the hut since his boy was kidnapped. Tahia is strong and powerful, but not easily scared. Manu Ari is very agile and headstrong. I think he suppresses his anger for them. Can we get one chance? I mean, the chief? Why would we not? He seems like the obvious one. We've got experience to be able to do something, so to be able to level up something if we need to. Yeah. Chief seems like the obvious choice. If the chief joins, then he can be like, yo, everybody, we gotta do something. They're like, oh, the chief is saying we gotta do something. Yeah, we gotta do something. It's the Hiatoa and Manuari will be like, hey, the chief is saying it. We got to also. So I mean, yeah, it seems obvious to me. You go up to Amana's hut, knock and enter. You find the chief sitting in silence on a mat in the center of his hut. His thoughts seemingly miles away. You are silent for a moment, considering your words, but he speaks before you. You must forgive my manners, but mourning fathers can't forget the most basic courtesies towards both guests and their own companions. Yeah, we'll level up speechcraft. Let's definitely do this. I can understand your pain, Amana, but you are a strong and wise man, and you should not be mourning yet. I know the cult, and they have no magical powers. However, I know too the danger that your boy Feugo faces, and I have no intention of leaving him in their hands. I'm going to rescue him. He paused for a few moments and turned to leave the hut. You have only taken a couple steps when you hear Amana's voice. You will not go alone. Yes. Tell me your plan, and I will come with you. Okay, I can try to get all of them. Okay, good. We get these guys, and why would the others? Why would the whole village not do it? I, the strong one. I have a feeling maybe video game wise, if I was making a video game and we had to try to convince the strong one, he would trust like my fighting skills, so we may not be able to get him. That's what I would think. Video gamey wise. Aida shows you which hut is Tahitoa's. He has not yet left the hut to go fishing. Recently, however, Tahitoa has not been fishing much at all because he has been looking for his brother Inata. His brother is bedridden because of a fishing accident. As soon as you enter the hut, you are reprimanded by Tahitoa. What are you doing? Can't you see there's a sick person here? Get out! Ooh. Maybe we have enough medicine skill? Yes. When you approach Inata, his protective brother starts to protest, but Aita stops him and calms him down. Examining the abrasion, you can see it's not very serious, but also that it has not been cleaned at all. You patiently explain that you will have to treat the wound, and that although it will be painful, it will then heal more quickly. Tahitoa is watching you treating his brother, and he seems impressed. You clean and dress the wound with great care. He may have a light fever over the next few hours, but in a day or two he will be fine. You look over to see Tahitoa smiling happily. While you were treating his brother, Aita told him about your plan. Yes! Oh, he's the warrior. I just got the achievement, the warrior's help. Okay, good. We didn't have to, put our fighting skills up. Yep, Donata, I'm with you. Although, watch, this guy will probably need the thing. Yeah, the warrior's help, yeah. I couldn't remember who was who. Okay, Manuari. I feel bad. I hope I don't actually say manure or anything like manure. You follow Aita to a dugout and you paddle together to Manuari's fishing spot. You reach him quickly and glide up right next to his canoe. At first he seems to be ignoring your presence, but then he barks at you. You're frightening the fish. Find your own spot. He does not seem too happy to see you. Ooh, we can level up observation though, I think. Yes, we can. Evaluate him as a potential ally. Oh. Good, good. You watch him fishing, wondering whether he will help you on this rescue mission. Some by his concentration and bearing give you the impression that he is indeed a brave man, but also deeply melancholic. You detect even a hint of guilt in his unblinking eyes. We're going to rescue Feugo and all those who have been taken by the masked men, all of them. The man raises his head and fixes you with his large bright eyes. Yes! That is a brave plan. I will help. When you return to your hut after having approached and spoken to the three men suggested by Aita, the sun is falling fast towards the horizon over the great expanse of the ocean. I was afraid that no one would come with us, Jake. There is hope, however. Fear has not completely taken over this village. Despite the great risk you face, you are reassured by the fact that you have allies from the village. There will be 5 of you involved in the rescue attempt. Nonetheless, you will have to plan the attack so as not to be seen. Surprise will clearly be an important element of your raid. I thought we'd just get the whole village, have a charge. Then again, I guess that wouldn't be that good of an idea. Well, yeah, maybe a charge wouldn't be a good idea, but if you get everybody, you know. I mean, sounds like they got arrows, bows and arrows. I mean, if they were to get like, you know, get someplace, just start like, you know, just start raining arrows on the thing. Then you would think that they'd, you know, they would get some quite a few of them took out, and then you know they would stop, you know, firing. And while the cultists were somewhat trying to recover and try to like go out and get them, maybe a small band could sneak into the camp and be like, I just realized though, I was talking earlier about not having had to use more than one fighting thing. How useful are we going to be in this raid? Something I'm not sure about. Okay, let's go to the cult's cave. Rays of sunlight filter down through the jungle vegetation, warming her skin. You've been walking with Aita for quite some time when eventually she turns to you and gestures for you to be silent and move more slowly. You're approaching the cave where the cult conducts its rituals. The thick jungle opens onto a small beach. They walk up here in a line. Well, what was that? You approach the entrance to the cave carefully, making sure that there is no one around or inside. Then you light a torch and go inside. I think they come here for this. As you're moving deeper into the cave, Aita holds a torch near the cave walls, illuminating strange and alarming pictograms. These drawings were here long before they came to this island. They have been here since ancient times. The symbols on the walls are heavily stylized, a bizarre hybrid of rock painting and Egyptian hieroglyphics. You make what seem to be people worshipping and others who seem to be suffering. All around these figures are unspeakable and terrible creatures, dark horrors with such bizarre shapes that they seem to change as you look at them. In various points, you recognize the now familiar eye symbol. You reach the end of the cave, which opens into a large space with a natural rock dome. The drawings all lead to the far end, where you see a much larger picture. Ooh. Ooh. Sorry, just look at the picture there. That's a tentacled monster. I said, I think in the last episode that tentacle monster has been referenced at least twice. Looks like it looks like an altar encircled. It looks like an altar encircled by men wearing what you recognize as a stylization of the cult's masks and kilts. In the center, there is something which emerges from what looks like a well. It is a mass of black, but you manage to distinguish something, perhaps an eye, in the center of the mass. There are protrusions like black tentacles reaching up into the sky towards what looks like the representation of a comet. Oh, so that's the comet they were talking about. Then you notice another detail. Caught up in the tentacles, there is a human figure, screaming, his face horribly contorted in pain. In addition to the pictographs, there are inscriptions written in a strange and incomprehensible alphabet, of which it is hard to understand exactly what constitutes a letter or word. Excuse me. No one really understands that language. We're not just going to leave. I'm hoping this is an instance where you can like do all of them. Like, I don't know why I'm asking a question would make us leave, but I've thought about it, and I think it's a prophecy of some kind, whereas the inscriptions could either be a story or a prayer. But the drawing seems to depict a ritual which is supposed to awaken something terrible. Somehow there is a comet involved too. It's a sacrifice, you think, but you don't say anything. The images show a sacrifice in conjunction with the passing of a comet. Your mysterious friend warned you about an approaching comet in his last message. Oh crap! I didn't explore more. Dang it! Right there, that is kind of annoying. You were pensive and silent. What you saw in the cave left you with a deep sense of anxiety that you can't seem to shake off. You have seen similar things in your nightmares. Aita must have noticed the sense of oppression that lingers on you. You think this cave could figure in your plan. You remember now that this was the original reason why you came to the cave, and you consider it now carefully. On reflection, you decide the cave is too risky a location for any sort of ambush or attack. Okay. So, okay. You're lying in your hut staring at its thatched palm roof, losing yourself in thoughts about the upcoming mission and its obvious dangers. Then your thoughts turn to something else, something which you have ignored since you first regained consciousness on this island. How the hell did you even get here? Now that you have an idea of where you are, the answer seems utterly impossible. When the Serenity became lost in the fog, you had been heading towards South America. This island is not in the Caribbean. When you saw the stars on the first night, you got a shock. At first, you could not recognize a single constellation until, that is, you knew what to look for. The constellations of the southern hemisphere, you seemed to be on a Polynesian island in the middle of the Pacific. It's already astounding that you should have survived, let alone have made such a journey while unconscious. Wormhole? Something like that. Your thoughts are interrupted by the entrance of Aita, whose face appears as she pulls a curtain to the side. How are you, Jake? Aita takes a few slow steps towards you and sits at your side. May as well be like, yeah, we're good. Yes, I think I feel the same. Aita hugs her knees as if reassuring herself. Crap, I don't know which one of these is the best option. Land is extremely perilous. There's no one to be afraid. We will avoid conflict as best we can. It's rescue, not a battle after all. I feel like it should be somewhat a battle. Because then they'll come to the village. I kind of like that one, honestly. What do you mean? Aida comes forward and sits beside you. You explain to her how, if one sphere is kept under control, it can sharpen the senses and make you ready for action. Yeah, I kind of like that one. Maybe when I feel something on my legs and I'm like, is that a spider? Can't let fear govern your actions. I like that one. But how? Move closer to Aida. Yeah, think of Feugo. Aida stares deep into your eyes, and then you see her gratitude for having dispelled her fears. Your eyes linger on her soft features. She leans in even closer until your faces are mere inches apart. Seems like we're getting some more action. She leans in even closer until your faces are mere inches apart. She closes her eyes and your lips touch. She looks like Lorraine. Right here, she looks rather like Lorraine. Your hands begin to explore each other's bodies as you continue kissing ever more passionately. Soon you're both free of the few clothes you had been wearing, and your kisses too start to wander all over each other's skin. You enter. Oh my word. Thanks for the detail. You enter her gently. That's a hard thing to say with a straight face. You enter her gently, and your bodies move together as one, as if rocked by the ocean. I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna rock you. That's the way it is described it. You become lost in each other, forgetting the passing of time, the mission, the cult, everything. The moment is transmuted by the hot tropical night, by your bodies, and by the complicity, into the raw pleasure of carnal abandon. When you separate, you both lie for some time in silence, arms loosely draped over the other. After the horrors of recent months, you considered it impossible that you could again experience just such joy. Okay. Apparently, there's achievements for hooking up with all the ladies. Did we miss anybody in Delft? Okay, yeah, I'm just getting these cleared off. Should have done that between episodes. Now that I think about it, that's funny though. We did, yeah. I don't know of anybody in chapter 2. Will there be a lady in chapter 4? As Aita falls asleep, your thoughts inevitably return to Helen, and her face is the last image in your mind before you fall asleep. Sorry, Aita. I was thinking of another lady before I fell asleep. Of course, that really makes sense, though. The darkness of the forest is only broken by moonlight when there are gaps in the trees. When it is, you look up to see the heavens full of stars, far more than in the northern hemisphere. Ada is leading the way with a determined stride. Behind you are the men who you were successful in recruiting for this mission, all following cautiously and in total silence. You come to the outcrop which juts out over the cult's campsite and stop to observe the situation. Everything is silent. The camp is asleep. They know the superstitious nature of the islanders. They assume they do not need fortification or surveillance. You start walking down the narrow path that leads to the beach. The biggest of all the wood and corrugated iron buildings is in the center of the camp. You suspect that that's where they are keeping Feugo and the other kidnapped villagers. You quickly reach the camp and have no problems getting close to the central hut. However, when you get there, you see this guarded by a heavily built man. He has large muscles and thighs like tree trunks. Every so often he gets up, circles the building, and then sits back down again. His presence confirms your initial guess that this is where they are keeping the prisoners. Ooh. I mean, I would think stealth would be the way to go. Because, I mean, you kind of want to neutralize. Yeah, I would think taking them out would be a good idea so you wouldn't have to worry about them on the way out. Because it seems like right moment to slip inside would be, you'd have to worry about the right moment to slip back outside. So let's hope this works. Manuari pounces at the guard. The guard throws a punch, but Manuari swerves it and ducks behind him. Guard doesn't even know where he is when Manuari comes back at him with a succession of rapid shots to the back of his head. Together, you drag the guard's unconscious body into a shadow and enter the building. Okay, good. Hopefully he'll stay knocked out. Inside the building is mostly bare. There are some shelves in the walls full of objects and containers. An object there immediately strikes your attention. It looks like a syringe, but not like any syringe you have ever seen. Ooh. Interesting. You pick it up and hold it to the light. Yes, it really is a syringe, but it has more than one needle. It has a brass mounting with the 4 tiny needles arranged in a shape that you recognize immediately. An injection with this instrument would certainly leave the strange marks that you saw on the backs of the heads of the sick in Zanzibar. Interesting. I was thinking that looked like a bite. Ow! Why is those needles so sharp? If they put like 4 needles in there, ugh, I'm okay with shots. You know, I used to not be at all, but I'm okay with them now. But 4, like in the back of your neck, ugh. Like what's stopping them going like into your esophagus? You know, into your throat, you know. Why would they have to put them in the back of your neck? Then again, I guess maybe they don't push them all the way. Maybe. Uh, you shiver involuntarily at the memory and put the strange syringe in your pocket. You return to looking around. At the far end of the room, there are several camp beds, and they are all empty. The Naita silently attracts your attention and points to a large trapdoor in the floor. Excuse me. When you open it, a terrible stench hits your nostrils. Straight away, you recognize that sickeningly sweet and nauseous smell. It is a smell of illness and death. You take a lantern from one of the shelves and go through a trapdoor and down the ladder below it. Crap. Okay, let's see here. Agile and smart fisherman. He's like straight up strong. So definitely not Amana. Okay, so he's the stealthy, he's the strong guy. A strong guy standing guard would be like a good idea, I would think. But stealthy might be like, hey, nobody's in here. You know, if the bad guys come in here and be like, nobody's in here. Maybe he's like hanging from the rafters, being like watching them or something. You know, like the Ninja Turtle in the Ninja Turtle movie. You know, where the guy was looking in the bathroom and opened the bathroom curtain and saw one of the turtles. Well, he didn't see it, but the camera could see. You know, the bottom of the turtle shell. Yeah, my brain goes in weird directions. Tahito, we'll do that. Although now that I think about it, we might could use that muscle down below. I guess it's too late now. The big Polynesian goes over to stand confidently near the door. You count on me. You descend the few steps with some difficulty and find yourself in an underground room. I guess the good news is we probably could manage this without any of them. So if we'd screwed up, you know, so we're probably okay. It is at least as wide as the building, if not more. The smell is now unbearable. There are several men and women. Shining the light from the lantern towards them, you see that they are the missing villagers. Many of them are covered head to toe with the sores typical of the disease you saw in Zanzibar. So that is what the code is doing, infecting these people, using them as guinea pigs. A small figure steps forward from this horrific scene. Amana lets out a muffled cry. It is Feugo. His face is not that of the excited child you used to know. He is no longer the cheeky, sprightly boy that you know well. He has been ravished by the disease. The chief picks him up and takes him in his arms, then he looks at you worriedly. You touch the boy's forehead and discover that he is feverish. Your eyes travel immediately to the back of his head, and yes, the mark is there. You look at the others. They are greatly weakened by the disease, and they will not be able to climb the ladder to escape. You promise that you will return for them, and as you ascend the ladder with Feugo, you start thinking about how you might do this. Yeah, we're gonna have to take out the whole camp to be able to get all the villagers. And I mean, that's something we'd have to do anyway, because I mean, if the cultists would be like, "Hey, they're gone. Somebody came and rescued them." I mean, they come to the village, you know. You climb out of the trapdoor, and your companion is waiting there. Yeah, no problems. As you're leaving the building, you hear indistinct noises coming from the camp. And maybe they had heard you, or perhaps it is just time to change turns for the guard. You can't be certain either way, but you cannot take any chances. Still carrying Feugo, you run out of the camp as fast as you can. You're running through the dense vegetation of the jungle, trying to put as much distance as possible between yourself and the camp. Can't help thinking of the poor diseased villagers locked underground, and that you were unable to save them. Well, I mean, was I able to save them? I feel like I don't think it is, but the way he worded that was like, if you had done things differently, you could have saved them. So, um, if we brought the strong guy, would he have been able to like lift them or something? Lift some of them? I don't know. But anyway, that is going to be all for this episode. I do sincerely hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like on the video. Let me know what you thought, and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you in the next one. Later there, folks.